Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing Edo and comparing the situation with Shaibu and his principal, Governor Obaseki, in the state. Let's take a few comments and then we see how we can wrap up.
Just one on Twitter, on X. Ibrahim says, Nigerian politicians at it again. Why is it difficult for a boss to come to terms with their deputies when they declare their ambitions to succeed them? One would have expected that Mr. Shaibu by now must have garnered enough experience to contest.
You know, this is an issue I have again, Nima, because many governors who pick deputies, they don't pick deputies as a potential governor, just in case anything happens. They just pick them for either for political stakes or okay, because let me just have a woman because let me just cover that part. I have women
to meet up with
certain expectations of the people, or from this certain region. Let me just bring somebody, not because this is a potential governor. Because even I remember when Biden became president, there was a lot of conversation around the fact that he's old. And there's a possibility that his deputy, who is a woman, might become president. So there was that conversation around the possibility of her becoming president. So how come in our own politics here, we hardly talk about the possibility? I mean, in Lagos, for example, we know that easily.
Should we democratize this one? Because this thing you have said, this is the trend. Though.
Yeah.
You deliberately pick your weakest. Somebody who will be loyal and dependent.
So we look at loyalty, not necessarily a potential.
But you know, the former president had a professor of law as his vice president. And it saddened me when he went on a medical break. And then the professor of law was told that certain decisions he took, certain policies he made, and it was water that people were talking, people within the FEC were watering down how he was. I kept saying, elected office is elected. He has powers under the Constitution. Allow him. He was talked about as an appointee of the president. Why did he do that? His principal would not have allowed this. You know, he was supposed to pick the next most intelligent person. Who can share your dream, whose decision you can adopt at any without seeing. You can adopt it. Okay, a decision taken, adopted. That's how it's supposed to be, but not.
Let me pause. I'll take a call that comes to you, Mariam. Good morning, Darlington. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning, Morayo.
Morning.
How are you?
Very well.
Okay, I just want to contribute that I'm from Edo State, based in Kaduna.
Okay.
Good morning, Morayo. Good morning.
You're very. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, I'm based in Kaduna. I'm from Edo State. You see, the truth is this: if we want to go with fairness and equity, power is supposed to shift to Edo Central. What Philip Shaibu is doing is not entirely out of place. I think he is trying to leverage on the fact that he's still within the corridor of power. Just like Obiajilu cited, probably if he's out of that place, he may not be able to leverage. He may not be able to get it, or I think it's very understated. He may not be able to come in within the next 4 years. So he's trying to leverage on the opportunity based on the fact that he's in the system at the moment. But if you want to follow equity and justice, power needs to go to Edo Central. Because from Oshomole, from Edo North to Obaseki, now power is supposed to shift. There is a structure that.
Thank you, Darlington. But many have argued that there's no real structure. It's just a gentleman's agreement, but there's no structure, there's no agreement that says has
those
to.
Those from Edo Central really feel slighted. Professor Monoka Inakena is saying, and anyone contending with this shared democratic unwritten agreement is not being fair to the people of Edo Central. Edo North was, you know, the predecessor to the governor. The governor is from Edo South. There's Edo Central, really. Let's even put it that way. Because now the governor has, underground, although they've not declared anybody, an anointed successor who is from Edo South again. You know, so Philip Shaibu now is taking the opportunity to now come and flag and Edo North. Let Edo Central have their turn. Let it be balanced. Let everybody, if they have a presentable, you know, candidate, it should be those people. Of course, they have.
Let's come back to what we're talking about here.
So I was saying that in our own way of democracy, party is the one that actually determines even the deputy for you. So usually you're not the one that chooses who your deputy is, and they're picked for different reasons. And that's why, you know, the thought of, if I'm not there, who will take over? That's why parties will come in when a deputy is trying to, like we were seeing in Edo State, and party has to step in again when there's a constitution that shows that that office of the deputy governor can take over as acting governor in situations like that. But I like that you highlighted this. Maybe now we should have a different kind of conversations. But do our individual politicians, there are just a few of them that may have that cloud that is above a party. Like our current president, I think that he came with his own cloud. It was irrespective of any party. I think Atiku is also like one of such individuals. You know, they come with their, yes, they're able to determine. So with them, like with the Atiku situation, that was why he was able to still run for office, even though there was a party agreement. Do you understand? So going forward, I would like to see that our party system evolves to the point where the individual is able to pick a deputy, knowing that this is a person that can step into the role when anything.
Let me take Shedrack from Otta. Thanks for calling, Shedrack. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, my
Good morning, sir.
This is my first time calling.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I want to especially greet my sister Limont. I'm from Edo State. I live in Otta.
Greet me too. I'm married to Edo State.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my sister, thank you. You see, the truth of the matter is that we, the Edolites, we know that it is our tongue, we from the Eastern nation, which is Edo Central. But the only thing we don't like about the governor is that the deputy has the right, you know, to say, I want to contest. We all know that Shaibu will not be able to win this election. But the way, again, the governor of the state is humiliating the deputy governor, nobody is in support of that. For me, politics is not all about winning. I think what Shaibu is trying to do is to ensure that he did not support whoever governor is bringing from Edo Central. It is a politics of spoiling the show. He knows this. He cannot win the election. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So go ahead, Mr.
I wanted to say, I like the advice Miriam just gave now. We need to get to a point where our politics evolves to that point where someone can be able to choose and say, okay, this person will be able to work. Aside from our politics evolving to that, we human beings too, especially in this part of the world, need to evolve to a place where it's okay for somebody who was once your deputy to now rise above you. Because that's where I see the problem. We don't want people to, just come from, I helped you get to this position, and all of a sudden you are taking after me. You're becoming more of an authority than I am. We always find a way to fight it, and that's why it's easier for us to support someone who is not close to us, who hasn't worked with us. It's easier to just pick somebody different from someone who you've, grown with and worked with, because then the competition is from afar, it's not close to us. Are we willing to open our hands and hearts to understand that even if you have worked as my deputy, I know that you're good enough to take over when I leave, I can trust you enough to take over, and it will not, stop me, stop my success, stop my progress. And when I'm done, can I leave that power and move on to something else? We always like to hold on to the power and the privileges that we've had in that position even after we are done.
Right, we have to wrap up this. Let me take a few comments on social media while I take Abdulaziz's call. Good morning, Abdulaziz, you're live. Thanks for calling. Good morning, Abdulatif. He has put himself on hold.
So,
hello? Any comments?
Mina TP says, that's right.
Yes, go ahead, you're live.
From Mofa. As regards what was talking about in Edo State, the continuity is going to be for those who are conscious and the God fearing. Thank you. Continuity, those who are conscious and
hello, sir.
Continuity, irrespective of the political party and the personality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abdulatif.
Continuity.
It's so interesting. On this show, we hear so many accents. Speaking the same English, but you're having different accents. It's really such a beautiful thing to hear. So let's take a few comments and then we wrap up.
TP says, that's right, Nima. Same party or an anointed candidate does not ensure continuity. Only progress inclined and serious individuals will continue the good works of a previous administration. Moses Ade says, Obaseki can be likened to elders who have a termed mandate to manage a pot of soup for the benefit of other siblings. He doesn't want to let go of the pot, wanted to bully other siblings.
Okay, I think we can wrap up on that, but I think in a nutshell, I think what I like Nima said this morning is that if there's a constitution, let the constitution guide our ways, and the constitution allows every citizen to run for the highest office in the land. And as long as he's qualified, he should be allowed, regardless of any political factors or exigencies that might be considered. But it's important for him to be allowed to run for office, and then let the people decide if he's worthy or if he's capable to take that office. Let's go on a break now. We'll come back and move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.